Welcome back, folks. I've got a very special episode for you this week. We are heading over to Cascades Casino in Langley. It's the last casino within driving distance that I haven't been to yet. I've actually never been here, so it's my first time. The action is said to be absolutely insane, like $100 raises going multi-way every time. And it's $500 max buy-in for the 1-3, and they're spreading a 5-5 game with 1,000 max. I think it just runs on Fridays and Saturdays, so I'm going to try hop in that if the game is good. And I'm going to try putting a pretty long session today. I've actually got the whole day off work, so hopefully can grind it out for maybe 12 hours. I don't know. I'm pretty old now. But that being said, I'll see you in the next clip.
Ready? First time.
Hello, welcome. We're getting into a few hands here at Park before we head on over to Cascades. So, in this first hand, we have 8-6 of hearts in the big blind facing a low jack open. This player's been opening quite wide, so their range isn't as strong as, like ace, queen plus. So I decide to 3-bet from the big blind, make it $50, and he makes the call. So, off to a flop of 6-4-3, 2 spades. Pretty good flop for my hand, not great for my range. I don't think it's too great for him either, so I do start off with a small bet of 30. I think check here might be better. I don't know, bit tough, but he makes the call. So off to a turn, which is the king of diamonds. I think about turning my hand into a bluff here. Again, like try and get him off sevens through jacks with like representing the king, but I think my showdown value is high enough with a flop top pair, so I just check it over to him, and he checks it back. So off to a river, which is the deuce of hearts. Now any 5 is a straight, and his holdings could be 5-4 or something like that. So I check it over to him again, deciding what I'm going to do if he bets, but luckily he checks it back, I show, and it is good. Pretty good start to that session. In this next hand, we have ace-king offsuit in the small blind. Under the gun has raised and middle position is called. We're going to put in the squeeze here. I bump it up to $60, and only the second caller calls. So a little bit weird, but off to a flop of 10-9 deuce rainbow. Not a great board for me, but SPR is pretty low. I could just shove here, but I think I prefer just checking it over and trying to get to showdown. So I check, and he bets small, 35. Against the sizing, we're just going to have to call. Off to a turn, which is the 6 of diamonds. I check it over, and pretty quickly he just shoves all in. I don't know. We just don't beat anything besides maybe ace-queen. I don't think plays this way. Beat queen-jack, but barely. Yeah, I'm just going to have to let this one go. I don't see us hero calling this on the turn, so I fold. That's that. Alright, so I've been playing for about an hour now. This is by far my least favorite casino. It is slot machines everywhere. There's probably less than 20 table games, and the entire casino is just slots on one floor. It smells. It's like mildewy in there. Like when you sit on your grandma's couch, the big of dust comes up. That's what it smells like. Tables are crowded, they're small, and it's 10-handed. Fuck. And it's like shoved into a corner, and you're surrounded by slot machines, and the entire casino is very dark. So you're just hearing the slots go off. Buffalo! Fuck me. But yeah, the slots are bright, the room's dark, my eyes hurt. Can't really complain though. Playing cards. Hands are fast though. I've been playing for about an hour now, and we've gotten through more than 3 orbits, so over 30 hands an hour. Still a little bit card dead. I've only played 2 hands so far, 5-4 suited and ace-king. But we're gonna get back in there, grind it out a bit. And action isn't great either, but it is only 3:30, so hopefully it'll pick up when more people get off work, and we're gonna stay here till probably at least 10 p.m. Probably a bit later though. See you in some more hands. In this first hand at Cascades Casino, we are very card dead. Won a few small pots here and there just by pure aggression, just not picking up anything, not connecting with flops. And I've been playing some pretty garbage hands because it's really all I'm getting dealt. But there are 3 limps. I see 5-3 suited in the cutoff. Looks like one of the best hands I've had. So I bump it up to $20. Original limper calls. And then the second limper 3 bets to $40. Low jack now calls, and now it's back on us. And this is complete bullshit. You don't have anything here. Like, never. I think about ripping it in, but I also don't think he's going to fold whatever he's done this with, right? He's going to call with like king jack offsuit if he did it. So I don't think we've got any fold equity. We're in position. It's costing us nothing to get into the here. So I make the call, and so does the other limper. So 4 ways to a flop, which comes out pretty good. Ace 6-4. So we flop an open ender. Checks to him, and he just bets $100. Just stack 100 out. Low jack folds, and I don't know what he's doing this with, but I don't think he has an ace here. And if he does, I don't think it's a strong one. Although, if he has, ace deuce, he's probably going to call it off if I jam. I don't know, I'm just seeing this to be like jacks or tens or something like that, and I think that we could get him to fold some of the time, so I just ship it all in. Under the gun folds, and he thinks for a little bit and makes the call. So, looking for some help. Turn, it's pretty good. 3 of diamonds, so we pick up a pair. River, even better. 5, we pick up 2 pair. I show, and we beat ace 10 offsuit. Played very strangely, but happy to win when we were behind that one. In this next hand, we finally pick up a real hand after like 2-3 hours of play, and it's aces. Nice. We are looking down at a lot of limps. It's 5 limps. We've got aces in the small blind. I bump it up to 25. Big blind folds. Original limper calls and folds right back around to the button, who also makes the call. So we are 3-handed to a flop, which is all right. King 8-3, all spades. Given this multi-way and under the gun is quite deep as well, I'm just going to check and play some pot control. Under the gun also checks, and then button fires out $45. After under the gun checked, I don't think he's going to be trapping too often here. And I'm pretty happy to just isolate the button and try to get it all in with him. So I shove all in, under the gun folds, and button makes a call. We show our hand, and he shows ace jack of spades. We are pretty much dead. Yeah. Nice hand. On to the next one. In this next hand, we have pocket 9s facing a limp. I bump it up to 15. Player directly to my left raises to 30. And then it folds back around to original limper, who makes the call. And even though the player's quite short, they're only at like half a stack, like 66 big blinds. Still don't really want to get pocket 9s in for that sizing. And then especially not against this opponent who's been playing extremely snug. Like he's been showing me the hands he's folding. Like he folded jack 10 suited to a $20 open. So when I see a raise like this, I'm concerned. Alarm bells are going off, but I make the call. It goes to a really good flop of 6-6 deuce with 2 spades. Checks to me, obviously not going to lead here. I just check it, and low jack decides it's time to go home. So puts all his money in. Under the gun folds, and now it's tough. But I just don't think he's ever doing this ace king. I don't even think he 3-bets ace king. I almost talked myself into a call like 4 times, but just think about what he's doing this with, and I think it's just aces, kings, and queens every time. So I reluctantly let it go. It is a big bet as well, so I do make the fold, and my opponent's nice enough to show us the pocket kings. Happy to not lose the maximum on this one. Let's see if we can turn things around with ace king suited. The under the gun straddle is on, and there's 1 limper, so I bump it up to $25 in mid position with ace king of clubs. Low jack calls, the cutoff calls, the small blind calls, as well as the original limper. So 5 ways to a flop, hoping for a good one. And what do you know? King, king, 8, 2 hearts. Beautiful. Checks to me. Obviously going to start with a bet here. Double king boards are really, really, really good for the pre-flop aggressor. Probably the best board that you could hope for in terms of range advantage. So I start off with a small bet of $50. Low jack wastes no time in making it $125. Falls back around to me. He's only got 200 behind. He's never bluffing. And if he is, he's probably going to have to call it off anyways, if he's got hearts. Sucks that we run into pocket eights quite often here. But he does have some king X as well. So I'm just going to get the money in. I shove it all in. He calls fairly quickly. I show my hand right away, and he says, ah, fuck. So, not pocket eights, which is good. And even if it was, the turn comes the ace of diamonds. Beautiful. We are not losing this hand. River is the queen of spades. Just as an extra needle, man had king queen for a full house over full house. Pretty happy to take down this pretty much cooler. This next hand, we're going to hope to keep the run good going well. We've got 3 limps, and I raised 7-6 suited in the big blind to $20. We get a call from the button, and the small blind folds. So this is the player that limp called the ace-jack suited on the button, the other hand, and stacked me against my pocket aces. So I imagine this is a pretty strong range. We go to a flop, which is amazing. Ace 5-4, 2 diamonds. We flop an open-ender to the nut side of the straight and a flush draw, and it's ace high, and we raise pre-flop. So starting the bet here, I think half to 60% is good. So I go 20, and button makes the call. So off to a turn, looking for some help. Jack of spades is not it, but we want to get it all in. This guy's never going to jam on us. He's very passive, so we can go ahead and bet here. I make it 65, and he snap calls. River, looking for some help. Another jack. Against his opponent, I am not bluffing. He clearly has at least an ace, and I don't think he's folding it. So I give up, wave the white flag, and he checks back. Ace 9 of hearts. It's got us again. This next hand, we have king jack suited in the cutoff, facing 3 limps. I bump it up to $20. Button calls. The original limper calls. And then the second limper raises to 60. Hijack folds, and now it's back on me. Once again, I'm just not believing this. Adds to the fact that we are very deep, like over 300 big blinds deep. Like this player has been raising himself quite a bit, so I don't see any reason he would over limp and then re-raise. So I'm not believing this. I've got a very good hand that can be, good removal to great hands. And it makes a pretty decent bluff. So I'm going to go ahead with a 4-bet bluff here, and I bump it up to 150. Button folds, under the gun folds, and this player is never folding. So we get to play a big pot, heads up in position with him. So he calls 150 and off to a flop of queen, 5-5 rainbow. Pretty good flop, all things considered. He's not going to connect with this very often, although queen is quite a common card for someone to be holding in this situation, right? Queen 10, queen jack suited, ace queen, all definitely hands that you can have, king queen. But when he checks it over to me, I'm definitely going to start with a small bet here. I go 120. Fairly quickly he makes the call. So off to a turn, looking for some help. Comes a two of clubs. Not great, but he checks it over to me again. And unless he has a queen, he's just not going to be able to call down 2 more streets of aggression. I'm going to bet pretty small in the turn and river to get it all in. And Rayleigh doesn't have ace queen. So I size up a little bit here. I think 210 seems good. The pot will be about 1,000, so it'll be 40% on the river, and I just bet like 30 something, so pretty even sizings. He thinks for quite a while. Looks like he's gonna call, but we managed to get this one through. He folds. I'm gonna show him the bluff this time, and pretty big pot to take down with king high. Okay, in this next hand, we are looking down at a limp. A new player has sat down. He seems pretty competent. He's watching like Hustler Casino on his phone, and he knows quite a few people, but he's been raising to $20 pre-flop every single time, no matter what the action was before. If there's 7 limps, it's $20. It's open, it's always $20, so not putting too much stock into it, but he does have a raising range. So I'm in the low jack with pocket 8s. I flat, and we go very multi-way to a flop of 6 players. So 6 ways to a flop of 8-4-2 rainbow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Checks the original raiser, who, even better news, bets. Not a small bet either. For a 6-way flop, he fucking sizes up to $80. There are no draws here, like besides 3-5 suited. There's really no draws to be afraid of. This is way too big, I think. And so it's pretty clear he's going to overpair here. and I'm just gonna flat and lay the trap. There's really nothing to be scared of. Cut off folds, and now small blind looks like he's thinking for a bit, hoping he's gonna call. He looks like he's about to fold, about to call, about to fold, about to call, and then announces all in. Don't really love this because now it gives everyone else a chance to get out of the pot. He's clearly got a set here. He's definitely got fours or deuces here. Maybe once in a while he's got pocket nines or tens, but I doubt it. Like, this is just a set over set cooler. Big blind folds, under the gun folds. And now the original raiser also makes the call, which I think is insane because it's pretty clear that at least one of us has a set. Obviously I call, nothing else to do about it. And we are playing a $1,400 pot with the nuts. And really good news is, if we win this pot, I will have won over $10,000 just at Live 1-3 during this challenge. So the sweat is on. I show my hand, small blind shows pocket four, so we're just hoping to fade a four. Turn gives me a little bit of heart attack. It's a 5 of clubs. In this very dark casino, it's tough to see the cards. They got quite a bit of glare on them from the slot machines. I thought that was a 4. I thought he just turned quads. But hoping for no 4 on the river, and comes down to queen. And the original raiser rolls over pocket queens. Set over set over set, and we are going to lose a huge $1,400 pot. Very, very, very unfortunate. Okay, in this next hand, we've been bleeding a few chips since that last hand, but buttons raised to 20. This is the same player from before. It's over just one limp, so since he does have a raising range, I think ace deuce suited is a perfect candidate for a bluff, so I go ahead and re-raise to $80. I think calling is fine too. Middle position folds, and then button makes the call. Off to a flop of queen 8-3, 1 club. Pretty good flop, all things considered, so I'm going to start with a small bet of 55. Now he tanks for a very long time before making the call. Now off to a turn, and we're planning on going for it on any club or 4 or 5 turn. It's really tough to have bluffs here, and I'm going to have a ton of value, right? I'm going to have aces, kings, queens, ace, queen, king, queen. There's a ton of value and very few natural bluffs. So turns of 5 of hearts, pretty much going to have to go with it at this point. So I throw in another bet. This time I size up so we can get all in the river. I bet 190. He tanks for a very long time again, and then makes the call. I'm pretty worried about how long he's tanking. It seems like he's trying to disguise the strength of his hand. Seems like he's got pocket eights here. But river is the queen of spades, and now we definitely cannot bluff. Right, our aces and kings are going to have to check back. And I'm probably going to have to balance that with like ace queen. So I'm just not going to have any bluffs in this run out, and I think I'm going to check my entire range here. Right, which isn't the worst thing ever because it seems like this guy does have pocket eights. I don't think he raises threes pre-flop, and I think queens would 4-bet. And I just don't see him calling down with ace queen on the turn. So I check it over to him, and he just snap jams all in. Like, takes 2 seconds, throws a chip all in. Nothing we can do here, but I'm going to Hollywood a bit, see if I can get some information out of him and see what hand he had. Eventually I do fold, and he goes and says, that queen saved you, and I think he had pocket eights. So his set holds, but mine doesn't. Brutal game. Maybe a little bit of puns, but went for it. This next hand, the button straddle is on. I've got king queen off under the gun. Bump it up to $18. We actually go 4 ways to a flop, so not too great out of position, but the flop comes down really nice. It's Jack 10, 7, 2 hearts. Everyone is going to connect with this board. I don't want to bet and get raised off my hand, so I'm just going to check it over. It's always nice to have some draws in your check range as well. So then under the gun bets $35 into 82, so pretty small bet. Everyone else folds, and I make the call. So heads up to a turn, which is the 3 of clubs. Check, check. Pretty good result. And river is a queen. Pretty nice. It seems like he's got some sort of medium strength hand, like a jack or a 10. Something along those lines, like 10-9 or ace-jack, something like that. So I think we go for some thin value here. It can't be too big, otherwise it's going to fold. I don't think I can go larger than like half pot. So I bet pretty small, 60. And he doesn't think for too long and makes the call. I show, and we're good. Clawing our way back up. that's gonna wrap up episode 29. My head is pounding. They've got like a DJ playing at the restaurant just behind the slot machine, so slot machine's going off, DJ pumping, getting rivered. Hell, hated it. I'd rather eat a bowl of spiders. But that's gonna wrap up episode 29. We started with 6,428. We're gonna end today with 6,202. We're in at park for 600, out for I think 498 for a loss of 102. I'll put the real numbers up here. And then we were in over here at Cascades for 700, out for 542 for another loss of something. I'll put them up there. But that's it for episode 29. Got like a nice hour-long drive home, but I'll see you guys in the next one.